Hello, friends and enemies. Today we are going to talk about the album Cold Tears of an Angel by Mexican coldwave band Hoffen. This band is, according to my research, mostly a one-man act by Dali Lancetta, who writes all the lyrics and does all the instrumentation in the studio, though he is joined on stage by other musicians for live performances. Lancetta has been in other bands in the past, notably one called The Girl Is Dead, which I couldn't personally find any information about other than him being in it, but Hoffen is his current project. This particular album has an interesting history because initially it was released as the band's debut back in 2016. 2 years later, they released a remaster, which is actually the version I'm personally more familiar with because it's the one that I own. Since then, they have released one more album, Blinded, which you may be more familiar with because I mentioned it in my top albums of 2019 video, but today we are going back to either 2018 or 2016, depending on how you want to look at it, with Cold Tears of an Angel. We start with the title track, Cold Tears of an Angel, the hit song. Fun fact, this was actually featured in that movie Esto no es Berlin that I reviewed a few months back. Even though that movie takes place in the 1980s and this song came out in the 2010s, I can guess that Hari-sama thought that it would be fitting because it does sound very 80s-ish in terms of the instrumentation with that sort of reverb, echoey type sound in the guitars and the enunciation in the vocals. It also feels very 80s to me personally in terms of subject, with that sort of sad 80s thing with the feeling lost and looking for a way to do away with your pain in this very arty way. I can see why it's the hit and the title track. It's sad, but it makes you want to dance, you know? Following that song is Rowan. This is the mopey song on the album. Most of them are kind of sad in terms of lyrics, but this one sounds mopey too, what with the way he's singing it in that moany sort of way and the whole sad post-punky guitar thing with the bume to it. I'm sure there's an actual word for that sound, but I don't know it, so I just call it the bume because that's what it sounds like to me. Lyrically, it appears to be about someone named Rowan who used to be in their life and now is no longer in their life because of something that is their fault. I looked it up to see if that name is a specific reference to something or someone, and I couldn't find anything, so I guess it's just a name that the musician liked. The third song is Callisto, one of the two songs on this album to be in Spanish. The rest of the songs are in English. The specific sound with that pickly tasting guitar and the bass and the general happy sad feel gives me a lot of Cure vibes. Based on the title, I don't know if the song is specifically related to Callisto, the nymph in Greek mythology, or if that was just a name that they liked. Between this and another song on the album, there is a bit of a Greek mythology motif. Lyrically, this song appears to be about love and loss and change and growth. Once again, typical of the genre, and we have those feelings brought to us with symbolic mythology attached. After that, we have I'll Never. This song, sound-wise, sort of reminds me of a more wavy version of something off of Closer by Joy Division, if that makes sense. Basically, sad post-punk, but with electronics and more layers added. So that gives us a few of the wave genres, I guess. There's also a sort of talky portion in the song. Lyrically, I think that this song is about looking for God and not finding anything or being disappointed in what you find. I could be totally wrong here, but those are the vibes I'm getting. It's actually pretty relatable to me personally. But anyways, less about me and my boring life, more about this album, which is not boring. The next song is TwoHeaded Hydra. I told you there was a Greek mythology motif. This is the rocker on the album. Our guitar gets loud and distorted and that drum is pulling through. Don't worry, we still have a post-punk bass and the drony voice to remind us that we're still goth. Though it is rocking, I wouldn't call this song gothic rock in terms of sound. It's just cold wave or dark wave with heavier guitar. I couldn't actually find the lyrics and couldn't understand all of them, but from what I could hear and understand, I think the two-headed Hydra in question is less literal and more symbolic for a problem that you need to overcome. After that, we have our instrumental interlude, Amniotic. There are no lyrics to analyze, but there's plenty of instruments. It's not one of those like 30-second random sound instrumental pieces. We get our sad bass, our tickly guitar with a little bit of the boom early on. And it progresses the same as all the songs. I'm glad that there's just as much effort put into this as the songs that are sung. And I'm pretty glad to see that throughout. He's definitely proven that he's a good lyricist and he's a good instrumentalist. And that's nice to me. Following that piece, not a song piece because it is instrumental, songs are sung, is Purple Light. This song has a fun little beginning sound. It's definitely more fast-paced song as they go, though it's still pretty mopey. It appears to be about a relationship falling apart while discussing feelings of nostalgia for the past, clouding over feelings in the present. Wakefulness. This song is fun. I mean, they're all fun, but this one feels fun because it's got that 80s dancey sound in the background and it's pretty rocking, though not as much as Two-Headed Hydra. It does the same thing with the post-punk bass to keep us grounded in our genre, even though it's less rocking. I do feel like the guitar is more prominent, whereas the post-punky bass is more of an after flavor. Lyrically, it is about becoming aware of the way things are. That referenced wakefulness is more about how you were asleep, as in you were not aware, and then you woke up to reality. Finally, we have Nowhere Boy, the last song on the original and the second to last song on the remaster. This song definitely has a finalizing feel, so I do think it was planned that way. Like they were thinking, okay, this song is going to be last. Let's make it sound last. It's a little on the rocking side, not as much as the big rocker once again. This is the second song on the album that's in Spanish. Lyrically, it appears to be about reflection on either a past relationship or your past self in general, maybe like the past relationship with the self. I don't know. You decide. If you're listening on the remaster, the album ends with a remix of Cold Tears of an Angel. Honestly, it's not too different from the original. The main difference is that there are sort of crashy noises added throughout, and there's more obvious synth. As remixes go, I'm okay with it. Like I said, it's not too different from the original, which to me is a good thing because I like the original. I can see how this one might be more club-friendly because it's a synth breakdown. It's more electronic, more bouncy, that sort of thing. So those are the songs on the album. Overall, I'm a fan. I think a lot of people who don't generally prefer coldwave might like this because a lot of stereotypical coldwave is very minimalist and bleep-bloop sounding. This is more layered and complex. I personally am cool with the bleep-bloop music too, but I know that not everyone is. People with really broadly goth taste might like it because, oh, there's a post-punky piece, there's a rocking piece. It's basically a taste of everything, except ethereal, I guess. Sort of in the lyrics. But anyways, I like how lyrically all these songs are very introspective and emotional without being whiny and talking about these things in a way that is still pretty interesting. If you want to listen to it for yourself, I do have their Bandcamp, Spotify, and YouTube accounts linked below that you can go to, along with their other social media accounts in case you want to follow them other places. If you want to follow me, get more content like this, you can subscribe to me here. And my other social media accounts are also linked below. Until next time, bye now.